The day we've been waiting for, an update on the MT-07. Now the MT-07 came out in 2014 and since then it hasn't really changed. Yamaha have sold over 125,000 of the units worldwide, and that's double the rest of the MT range combined, which is pretty fantastic when you think about it. Now, to be fair, I guess they've gone with it, if that ain't broke, then don't fix it kind of ethos, because yeah, we haven't seen any changes over the years, and actually now that we have a change, it's not been drastic. Okay, it looks different, but first thing that catches your eye, and it's the same with the MT-09 last week, it's that small single Cyclops style projector headlight flanked by those DRLs, giving it that Y-shaped face. I suppose Y for Yamaha, that is immediately noticeable. We also get the LED lighting all around, so that headlight's LED as well as the indicators front and rear and the tail light. Gives it a nice 2021 fresh lighting look. And to be honest, I really like the direction that Yamaha are going in. I suppose headlight technology hasn't quite been up there, and recently as we've got this new technology of LEDs and all sorts of fancy projectors and stuff, we're seeing a lot of bike manufacturers doing a lot of really cool stuff, and Yamaha are just kind of rewriting the rule book and making everything look ridiculously ridiculous, but in a good way. What I also like is with this new headlight design, it's almost picked the bike up. So I've always thought that MTs before have been this like hunchy hunchback of Notre Dame. You know, they kind of like hunch over a bit, and it's because of that sort of big headlight, kind of from the tank it goes over. With this, it's like they've picked their head up, they've sorted their posture out, and yeah, it makes the bike look quite sort of ready to go. And speaking of posture, we've also got new wider taper aluminium bars. I think they're 15mm wider. Now, I don't know if that is going to change the handling, but I know it will have an effect. Yamaha are now speccing these bikes with Michelin Pilot Road 5s. These are the latest tyres from Michelin, and I'm sure they are going to do a treat, because everyone knows good tyres just make a whole world of difference. And if you don't know, now you know. You'll also notice from a styling perspective that the rest of the bodywork has been pared back, stripped down. Coming to the rear of the bike, we've lost a bit of the plastic there. And also on the tank, it's been redesigned, and we're now incorporating those air ducts into the tank for a slicker profile. You'll also, if you kind of look at it from the back, you'll see like these sort of nice little winglets sculpted into the tank. It kind of again gives it that sort of ready to pounce. It just makes it sportier, it livens the styling up a little bit. And those air ducts are part of some changes made to the engines to meet Euro 5 emission compliance. We actually get the same power and torque as the current model, which is 74 bhp and 67 Newton meters of torque. Now the changes have made the bike have a more linear response or output delivery, if you like. I thought it was a very good delivery anyway, but this is now even more linear. And actually we've got some tweaks to the ECU, some changes to the fuel injection mappings, and quite noticeably on the exterior of the bike, this 2-into-1 exhaust. And my God, it is quite ugly. It's like this 2-tube to big tube to massive box to sort of short exit can, and yeah, it's not great, is it? It doesn't look great. To be fair, it's not horrific, it does look a little bit industrial. I'd like to see what it looks like in person. Yamaha have put a shroud on the right hand side, but when you see it from like any other angle that isn't dead on, you can like almost immediately see it. It's bizarre, I get it. There's packaging constraints on a motorcycle that are very difficult to meet, especially with a bike that is naked and just has everything hanging out there. With something like a car or a fared bike, you can kind of hide it underneath or beneath some plastics. But on a naked bike, it's very hard. I do think they've done a good job of it, but you know, it's tough. It's tougher and tougher every year for bikes to meet emissions, and manufacturers got to do whatever they've got to do. The aftermarket will sort it out, I'm sure. And you know what? It will release that characteristic MT-07 bark that we're so used to, because we've still got the same 689cc engine, that CP2 motor with a 270-degree crank, which just gives it that lovely sound. We have larger 298mm discs up front, up from I think 282mm, but what's fantastic is Yamaha have actually not increased that unsprung weight, which is pretty sweet. And a quick skim over the accessories, there's just the usual sort of bits and bobs, some like hand guards, bobbins, adjusters, all that jazz. There's also quite a cool looking like MotoGP style exhaust cover, which seems to slip on over the exhaust you got now. And you know how a few teams have got that kind of like mesh grate over the exhaust to stop gravel getting in? It's got that. It looks pretty trick actually. Colours, as far as colours go, we've got 3 colours. We've got Storm Fluo, which I think looks excellent, Tech Black and Icon Blue. To be honest with you, I think they're a bit kind of samey. I wonder if Yamaha bought massive vats of Icon Blue and Tech Black and are just giving it on like every model out there. I would really like to see something really bright and fantastic, but once again, I'm sure the owners, as they have done with the MT-07 at the minute, just customise them to the absolute extreme. One thing that you guys won't have to do anymore is reverse the colour of the LCD dash, because that has now been flipped and we've got this dark mode LCD. Looks really slick and proper. No prices as of yet, but I will pop them in the description as soon as I find out. Keep rolling, 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 rolling. Yeah, we're actually rolling. Sweet, 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 sweet.